Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Courtney and I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. If you're not new, thanks so much for coming back. It always means the world to me. So I'm here today with kind of a new video, and I thought it would be fun to maybe share some of my favorites. I'm not sure if it's going to be a series. I think it just depends on if people like this video. I might do more of them, but I think most people know that I like to keep a positive spin on things because, to be honest, reselling has a lot of positives, and so I just kind of focus on that. So this is my favorites, and today specifically just focusing on my favorite 10 brands to resell. So I'm going to share the 10 brands and a little bit about how many items I've sold, how many do I have available, what was the average sale price, etc. And then at the very end, I'm going to include honorable mentions. I guess we'll call it that. But if you aren't already subscribed, this sounds interesting. Definitely feel free to check out my other videos if you like reseller content, or hit the subscribe button below. And if you like this video and want to see more of my favorites, hit the thumbs up and I can do more of them. So I have this broken up into my top 10 favorites. Keep in mind, I tried to select items that I've sold more than 2 items of. I've only been reselling for less than a year. I've sold over 1,200 items total. I don't have the exact number, but so I've done quite a bit of selling so far. And I picked items that for me, not only do I get excited to find, but typically they're quick sellers for me. They tend to bring in a consistent return. I find interesting, something that makes me feel really positive about it consistently. And yeah, so I'm gonna share a little bit about each one, and then at the end I'll share some honorable mentions. So the very first one is the one that I've sold the most of in this list, most number of items, and it's Burberry, which I've been lucky enough to find myself. My mom has found a number of times, and I've sold 9 Burberry items. I have 0 available right now. Actually, one's going out the door today in my shipping. And yeah, this is just probably one of my favorite brands to find because it's consistent for me, tends to have a really good return. People are searching for it. I like the classic style of it. It's incredibly expensive retail, so it makes me giddy when I find it. And the sold price range for me, it has been $21 to $150. And you're thinking 21 is not that great. That was a garment bag, so not that impressive of a Burberry item, but it sold within a day or 2, and it still sold for $21 from the bin, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, most of them are selling somewhere between that, depending on condition, which is huge. They range from kind of different items, but they tend to sell well for me. So if I had to select a category, this is probably one of the few brands that I have not found a category that doesn't sell quickly. So I've sold a scarf for $150. I've sold a jacket. I've sold shoes. I've sold the garment bag. I've sold a skirt. I've sold a top. I don't remember all of them, but all of the categories from this brand do well for me. So A-okay by me. I'll continue picking up Burberry, and I'll continue smiling every time I find it. The second brand that's one of my favorites is probably not going to be surprising to most people, which is Patagonia. I think most people like finding Patagonia, and there are some pieces that I think it's the College Picker on Instagram kind of coined the phrase, or I think he did, Patagucci, and that just means that there are certain Patagonia items that are incredibly valuable. But for me, the Patagonia pieces that I picked up range in sale price from $12 to $60. Keep in mind the $12 was incredibly low because that was in my first few weeks of reselling. I didn't know how to look up comps, I didn't know how to price things, and it was a really cute Patagonia tank top that sold within a day. And as a new reseller, any sales were just super exciting. So looking back, I probably could have priced it a little bit higher, but the range, I actually have a Patagonia dress going out today. The range is typically between that 20 and 60 range for me. I've sold 8 Patagonia pieces. I have 1 available, which is a men's shirt, I believe. And my favorite category of this brand to sell or find is a fleece jacket. One I had for quite some time. It had a lot of interest. It was the chinchilla, which is kind of, I think that I'm saying that right, kind of their good fleece line. And there was one that sold really quickly and one that sold it took, in my mind, it took, years to sell, but it probably only took a month and a half, 2 months. But it had so many likes, just no one pulled the trigger and purchased it. So, but I will always pick up Patagonia. I like picking it up. I like the styles. And yeah, it just makes me happy as well. The third brand that's one of my favorites to resell is one that might be surprising, and it's Zara Man. Zara Man specifically, not all of Zara. So I will pick up all Zara, but I'm more style specific and more picky when it's not the Man items. So I've sold 4 Zara Man shirts and I have 0 available. The range in this is not that great, so 15 to 29. But this is one of those brands that sells within a day or two. They're fun. There was a flamingo print. There was a crab print. There was one with like elbow patches. Just kind of fun, trendy. And I believe when I lived in San Francisco, I knew we had a Zara in San Francisco. But I believe it's one of those brands that's just not in every major city. And so shopping for it online, especially with men's stuff, I think it's sought after. So I will continue to get excited when I find cute Zara Man shirts and continue to pick it up. And yeah, it's just one of my favorites. So my fourth favorite brand is a brand that I found a few times. So it's called Equipment. I think technically the whole name is Equipment Femme. And this brand, I just like style-wise. And I think we probably all have those where it's a consistent style that you yourself like. I don't wear this style much anymore, but when I was living in San Francisco, I wore a lot of long sleeve button downs, and this brand was way out of my price range, and I didn't even know about it until reselling. But really beautiful silk button down is what I found of this brand. Really fun prints and just very classic and I really like the styles that I've picked up. The range for me has been $35 to $45. They tend to sell pretty quickly. I have one available. I've sold 4. I have one available, but that one's actually sleeveless and it's got a tie. And we're now just getting into summer, so I'm confident it will sell quickly at some point in the next month or two. And I've only seen shirts. You guys can let me know in the comments below if you know of anything that this brand does besides shirts. But yeah, it's just one of my favorites to find. I always get a little giddy, and hopefully I find another one soon. The fifth brand that's one of my favorites is one that is, I didn't know if I should put it on here, and here's why. It's Wilfred. So I've sold 4 Wilfred items. Wilfred and Wilfred Free is an Aritzia brand. Aritzia is a website. People search for it. They've got a lot of really trendy, kind of expensive lines. And Wilfred is just kind of a funky brand with just fun pieces. And I've sold 4. 3 of those 4 were jackets that sold for $70 to $100. And then one... I did sell a Wilfred tank, and that only went for $12, but it was like a black spaghetti strap tank. It sold within a couple days, but it wasn't worth much. But the jackets ranged between that $70 and $100. The reason I didn't know if I should put it on here is because I actually have 4 items available, and there's something I learned when I was doing this number crunching or getting this information put together. The 4 items sold, I had in the title of my description, Wilfred, blah, 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 whatever the item was. But as the brand, I would put it under Aritzia. The 4 items available that haven't sold, which most of them haven't been listed for all that long, maybe a week or 2, are under Wilfred brand instead of Aritzia brand. So I think I might go in there and change that. I find that with Anthropologie as well, that sometimes I'll put the brand on the label in the title, but then I'll actually put Anthropologie as the brand and it will sell quicker. That's just been my experience so far, so I might change those. But this brand, I really like finding the jackets, and I'll continue to get really excited to find it anytime, but really the jackets are definitely my favorite category to sell. The 6th brand that I consider one of my favorites is just another brand that I like the style, and it's Elizabeth and James. The price range in sale price that I've experienced has been 36 to 64. I've sold 3 items. I have 1 available. The one that's available is a pair of sandals, and it's been listed for a couple months, but I found it in winter. They're a size 10, and they're kind of a wood platform heel. I don't think they look the most comfortable, but they do have some interest. I'm confident they'll sell this summer, and yeah, so I really like the Elizabeth and James jackets. I found a couple of those, and that's probably my favorite category in this brand. But yeah, it's usually a quick seller for me, and I just like the style. So the seventh brand that is one of my favorites is a brand that I've had in a couple of haul videos, and it's the brand, and I say it incorrectly, and I'll probably continue to say it incorrectly because you get stuck saying a brand a certain way. So my apologies to the brand for saying it incorrectly, but I say it Acacia. This is a brand I started following many, many years ago. It's a Hawaii-based brand, and it's primarily a swimwear brand. I just think they do beautiful pieces. They have beautiful social media videos and posts. I just really like their lines and their message. So it's not a cheap brand. I've sold 2 items from them. I have 0 available. I'm down to pick up anything swim related. I haven't picked up any of their dresses, so I don't know the resale value on those, but they do have some really cute dresses. And the range has been 75 to 145. Definitely depends on the swim piece, but they sell quickly. These 2 did, and I will continue to get excited about finding Acacia, or however you say it. The 8th brand that I really get excited about is one of my favorites. I haven't found it too many times, but it's Birkenstocks. And I like the style of Birkenstocks. I don't own any. If I find a pair that's in decent condition in my size, they will be snatched up very quickly. But I like the boho vibe of it. It's just a classic. I've sold 2 of them. One sold for 40 and one sold for 45, and they sold within days. And they were both different styles, but in pretty good condition. So I have 0 available, and I don't know if they make anything besides sandals, but that's obviously my favorite. Yeah, because that's all I've picked up. That's all I know of is the sandals. So the 9th brand that is one of my favorites is one that you could say, oh, it's designer. Of course it would be. Kind of like Burberry. Of course it would be a favorite. But again, I tried to keep it things that I've sold more than 2 of. And also there are probably going to be a lot of brands that will be on this list the next time I do it that I will have found more of. So I would love to find Christian Louis Vuitton or, other high-end designers, but this is just my favorites that I've found and at least sold 2 of. And Prada I have found a few times. So I've sold 2 Prada pieces. I have 1 available. They've all been shoes, I believe. And the range of the 2 sold items was 60 to 70. So one was 60, one went for 70. And the one available, it's only a couple weeks old. And Prada isn't the quickest seller for me. I tend to price a little bit on the high side with it so that I leave room for offers. But yeah, I love finding it. It's incredibly expensive retail. And yeah, hopefully I find it soon. Again, I'd love to find a Prada handbag, a real one. I think I've found some fake ones, but like a real one. That would be fun. The 10th brand that is my favorites in my favorites list is a kind of new to me brand, and I have to thank Denali over at El Ducho, her YouTube channel. She actually found 2 pairs of Warby Parker glasses. Now, this I was debating, do I put this in because it's still new? I've only found the 2, so I've sold 2. I have 0 available, and they didn't sell for that much. So you're thinking, why? Why is it a favorite? Here's why. There was no steaming, there was no washing, there was a wipe down with a disinfectant wipe, there was a quick, easy, flat lay photo. I wasn't even worried about the scratched lens because you're gonna have to swap that out anyways because they're prescription. And they sold within hours, both of them. One sold for 18, one sold for 20. And since then, I will just be snatching up any Warby Parker glasses that I find. And I'm just glad that she handed them over to me because I don't know if I would have picked them up, but I will look out for them. And yeah, they were just really surprising to me and made me very happy. Even with the low return, they were just too easy. So I have some honorable mentions, and I'll explain a little bit of why these aren't in my favorites. First one being Kate Spade. Love finding Kate Spade. I've done pretty well with Kate Spade. Usually pretty good returns, usually quick sellers. It's just a little bit more inconsistent for me. And I think Some of the Kate Spade can go for quite a bit and is very desirable. And I'm not even talking about the Saturday by Kate Spade versus regular Kate Spade, just all Kate Spade. I think it's cute. I think it's fun. The more colorful it is, I tend to do better with. It's just a harder brand for me because it's not as consistent, but I still like finding it. So Everlane, another one that I have had really good luck with on a few items, and then some have sat for months. And what I'm finding, or what I'm learning with my own sales, is the basic tees that don't really have much to them, or the basic, I think I maybe had a basic dress at one point. They sat and they didn't sell for much. I basically was just like, take it. I don't even. So if it's a unique Everlane piece, I think there was a bomber jacket that did really well. There was, I can't remember, another jacket, I think. But the unique pieces, I will definitely pick up. I'm more selective, I think. Sorry, I'm a little stuffed up still, so trying to get through this. The third brand that is on this honorable mention list is probably one that most people like finding, and that's Anthropologie. This is probably the most frustrating brand for me, and maybe up there with Free People. But Anthropologie, hands down, I have the most extreme love-hate relationship with. I like finding it. I like learning about the different labels under it. I think the styles and the store is beautiful, but I have sold a lot of it. I've sold 40, 50 pieces of Anthropologie. I also have maybe 80 to 100 that haven't sold, and I tend to find it a lot. I can't figure this brand out, or these lines in the Anthropologie line world. I can't figure it out. And I know there are certain things you can look on certain sites for, kind of the bolo Anthropologie items and stuff like that, but I just don't have the patience for it. I get frustrated because I don't know. It's a hard brand for me. So I'll continue to pick it up. But I think I'm definitely getting more selective with it. And I just wish some of it would sell. So Free People is the next one. Is same thing. Some of it flies, some of it. One of my best sales ever was $145 for a Free People bag, and it sold within a couple days. So Free People can do really well, and some Free People you can't literally donate it. Or I would imagine. I have a new tags Free People. It's nothing special, but it's been sitting for ever since I got my lights, and it's new with tags. I've had it as low as $10, willing to take anything just to get it out, and it won't move. So it's a frustrating brand. Again, it's a brand I think is cute. I like the boho look of it. So it's hard for me to pass up, but I'm just trying to get a little bit more selective. Lululemon, another one that I think I get excited to find, definitely. I get excited to find all of these, but when it comes to selling it, it's just inconsistent. And same with this one. Some of it sells for quite a bit. Some of it sits for a while. And I know certain styles, they maybe made a select amount, or they don't carry anymore, or just really good fits, but I just don't have the time or the energy to really dive into what is really valuable and what isn't. So for Lululemon, it's like I just pick up Lululemon that seems to be in good condition, and then it doesn't all sell equally. And so I don't know. That's probably my own personal issue. Lucky Brand is an honorable mention. I've sold so much Lucky Brand. I probably sold 40 or 50 items of Lucky Brand. And I like it. I actually like a lot of the styles. But then I also have 60, 70 Lucky Brand items available, or probably right around that 50 mark. It's an inconsistent seller for me. So it's also not a huge moneymaker. So if I find it at the bins and I like the style, if I think I'd wear it, that's kind of my mindset with Lucky Brand right now. And we'll just keep going that direction. Adidas, I only now pick up Adidas that's kind of funky, has a little bit of the retro look, and it flies, and it sells for decent money. So Adidas, I like the brand. I wore it a lot as a kid when I played soccer, but the just basic Adidas stuff I have never had any luck with, so just getting more selective with that as well. St. John, I almost always dart to the dress, like blazer area. in a thrift store these days, because if I can find a St. John knit, my day is made. I just want to leave the thrift store. I just want to go do a dance. I've sold it a couple times and it sells quickly and for great money. I also have some St. John pieces that are like tops, knit tops, and just not all that exciting, and they just sit forever and I can't seem to get rid of them. So another brand, I'm just trying to be selective. If it's a St. John knit, I'll grab it and I might pay up for it. If it's anything else, I might not pick it up. So, and then the last honorable mention, and the only reason I sold one this morning actually, the only reason I didn't include this in my favorites, which I thought of, was Robert Graham. The reason I didn't include it is because technically I've sold it 4 times, the 4th being this morning. Yeah, I think it's 4 times, maybe 5. I think it's actually, this morning is 5. The only reason this is in the honorable mentions is because technically my mom's found every single one of them, and I didn't want to take credit for her hard work. So love this brand. I hope I pick it up sometimes. It ranges. Today it only sold for $22. It was a women's shirt. It wasn't very colorful, so it was priced according to that. One sold recently for $130 or something around there, and that was, you know, an amazing flip and very quick. So it ranges, but it's fun and people are searching for it, and yeah. So anyways, those are just some of my favorites. I really like learning about different brands, and I'll try to do this again maybe in the future, and maybe my brands have changed, hopefully, as I continue reselling. And if you like this video and you want to see other favorites and other categories, not just brands, definitely hit the thumbs up, and that will let me know I should think of some more. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.